Congratulations, Florida. We are #1 for political corruption.
Yeah, just make sure to shake your head. 10 News is the only TV station with advance access to a report that's coming out later this week about rampant corruption. 10 News investigator Noah Pransky joins us now with a preview, and it makes all taxpayers shake their heads.
Yeah, Heather, Reggie, these aren't exactly the championships Floridians like to win. You know, almost 800 times in the past decade, a Florida politician has been convicted on federal corruption charges, has won every 5 days for 10 straight years.
Florida is still the national leader in public corruption.
Dan Krasner says Florida politicians have it easy. Krasner's watchdog group Integrity Florida is releasing a new report that calls the Sunshine State the most politically corrupt state in the nation.
The corrupting influence of money and politics is the defining issue of our time.
Kevin White, Jim Norman, and Vern Buchanan are just a few local politicians accused and investigated recently for ethics violations or corruption. But why is Florida the worst of the worst? Integrity Florida claims the rules here are just too lax. For example, elected officials can work for lobbying firms on the side. Legislators don't have to disclose conflicts of interest until after they vote on them, and the Florida Commission on Ethics can't launch an investigation without first receiving a formal complaint.
Imagine any other law enforcement officer in Florida seeing a crime in progress and not being able to pursue the suspect. That's the state of ethics law enforcement in Florida today.
A 2010 grand jury report blasted Florida's rules for politicians, but the legislature has refused to address ethics reform. And outgoing state senator Paula Dockery can't figure out why.
For 5 years now, I've been trying to get meaningful ethics reforms, but there hasn't been any impetus among the leadership to do anything about it.
Dockery says ethics bills were ignored by 3 straight Senate presidents, 3 straight speakers of the House, and 2 straight governors. So the ultimate check on ethics may have to come from you on Election Day.
If the legislature is not going to do something to address this issue, then the voters need to be better informed before they go and cast their ballot.
Today was the first day of qualifying for the fall elections, and already a number of candidates are making ethics reform a centerpiece of their campaigns. We also asked you on Facebook which local corruption scandals stood out in your minds, and one of our viewers wrote, the Pat Bean, Renee Lee, Kevin White scandal. Not only sneaking a significant pay raise during times of a budget cut, but a cover-up too, and later getting convicted of federal felony public corruption charges. Reg, Heather, I don't think we've seen the end of this anytime soon.
No, and you can already see what the problem is. Well, number one, the fact that elected officials can also be lobbyists is just mind-boggling.
So many conflicts of interest.
Big conflicts.
And then who's going to pass all of these rule changes and laws? The lawmakers that we elect who may be guilty of doing these things. They're not going to pass it.
Even passing an ethics reform could be a conflict of interest for some of them if they have some sneaky business going on. So we haven't seen much movement in Tallahassee, but there is a glimmer of hope, and that's at the local level. We haven't seen a whole lot in Tampa Bay, but over on the East Coast, Palm Beach County, for instance.
Voters, I bet, are outraged.
You know, and they have, and they've taken out some of the bad politicians, and they've actually started initiating local ethics reforms. And the guess and message is, get out there, tell your local politicians you want that here in Greater Tampa Bay too.
Yep. Thank you, Noah.